Hey guys, my studio is a mess right now. As you might know, a few months ago I moved to a new place and I had previously put all my books and magazines about music in boxes and I opened them today, all of them. There must have been 20 or 30 boxes. And I thought it would be fun to do a video on the books and magazines that I have collected over the years. All this knowledge, I guess useless knowledge about synths that I have and music that I developed in a lot of years. It's also because I've read a lot of stuff over the years. I always kept myself current. And this was back in the days where, before the internet, so you kind of had to buy magazines and books or talk to people, stores. So let's take a look. And sorry about the mess. Eventually I will put the studio in order. Now look at this mess that I made on the floor, all these magazines and books. Never ends. And actually, if I go to this other part of the studio, drum machine wall, I also put some of them here, some of them there. It's bursting with old magazines. There you go. Let's go back there. Let's start with this. Okay, the first magazine I wanted to talk about is this Roland Users Group. And this was a magazine that you used to find at musical instrument stores back in the 90s, I think. You don't see these anymore at stores. Well, you don't see any paper anymore. It's all virtual. Let me see if I can find a date here. Fall 1999. Yeah, this is from the 90s. And, you had also reviews and interviews and the Boss VF1, Roland V Mixer. You had all kinds of information about Roland products. Got a bunch of these guys here. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Phantom, the first Phantom that came out. 1999 new products. Destiny's Child. Roland in the 20th century. 30 years of innovation. Dave Matthews Band. And let's I have several of these guys. Okay, next. And next is Keyboard magazine, and I have a full collection of this from issue number 1 to, I think I stopped buying it maybe 5 or 10 years ago because I really have too much stuff. But let's take a look at a few Keyboard magazine issues. Okay, I picked 3 issues at random from different eras, but this one with Kate Bush is an older one. This is from July 85. You can see a Fairlight, Kate Bush. The Korg Poly 800 classic. I have it in the back here. Synclavier. One day, guys, I'll have it. BK80, Akai X80. Lane 9000. I have it right behind us here. So this is classic mid-80s gear, Dave Grusin. And Kate Bush. Very cool. And then this one is a little bit later, I guess. This is what? 2002. Well, I guess I'm missing one from the 90s, but anyway, this is from 2002. Keyboard magazine, Big Fish Audio. The Yamaha S08. The big 3. The Motif, the original Phantom, and the Triton Studio. Yep. Sonar 2.0. Korg. And then this one here, very modern looking. The Tetra is there. Alright, next. And this is the Zounds.com catalog. And companies don't do this anymore, but they used to, you know, the moment they knew you were a musician, they sent you all these things at home via mail. And, you know, typical catalog. This is from when? Not sure. And audio. Anyway, just a catalog. The same thing with the Musician's Friend catalog. These are older catalog that they used to send. November 2010, holiday gift guide. B.B. King. All kinds of stuff. And some of these magazines have good interviews in them. Same thing for maudio.com. This is from 2008. Yeah, I have a couple of issues of the M-Audio magazine with their products, MIDI controllers and audio cards. Actually, I used to have the Firewire. I forget that it wasn't a 610. It was the larger version of a 610 that I used to have. It was a really nice card. M-Audio. Yeah. Korg Pro View. This also was a magazine that you could easily find if you went to musical instrument stores back in the 90s. And again, you know, Korg products and interviews with artists. The Trinity V3 was all the rage, and this was really great sounding machine. I had the rack. Savage. The Z1 also was a great sounding machine. Yeah. Jordan Rudess, amazing keyboard player. Triton Extreme, the one with the tube in it. Linkin Park. Just a lot of Korg mag. This is summer 2000. Christina Aguilera. I guess around the time with Genie in the Bottle. Yep. System of a Down. No Doubt. Phil Collins. Hey, what is Phil Collins doing in the 90s magazine? It's supposed to be in the 80s. And Purview. Triton. Yeah, these are just yep, more cool. This one was called Music Tech Magazine. This was available in bookstores, really. It was interesting. And typical industry information and reviews. Cubase X6. And this one I probably, yeah, I didn't even open the CD that came with it. And I have all these CDs somewhere else here. Ask Audio Magazine. It's also a very good magazine about the industry. This is fairly new, just a few years old, I think. Ableton Live, the mixing issue, the MIDI Revolution, 30 years of MIDI. So MIDI was in 1983, so this was from 93, 2003, 2013, so just a few years ago. Ableton Live, Music Hardware, Logic Pro X. Okay, this one brings back some memories. This is the Musician's Planet, really Mars. Mars Music used to be a musical instrument store in the 90s. Unfortunately, it went bankrupt, but it was a really, really cool store. And I really enjoyed going there almost every weekend. And again, you could pick these up at the store. And again, industry information, releases, and products. Mars Music Learning Center. Sting. All the rave DJs shake the underground. When is this from? It must be from the 90s because, let's see if I can tell. Yeah, the pod was out. So the first original pod was out, so you can figure out which year it was. And Metallica, Goo Goo Dolls, another Metallica. Sheryl Crow, Around the World with the Globe Sessions. Carlos Santana, Lenny Kravitz, two Lenny Kravitz, Sting again, and U2 again. Alright. Guitar Center pamphlets. Again, these, they used to send them to you in the mail before the internet, I guess. I guess maybe they still do. This is fairly recent. Yeah, it's got the recent keyboard, so it's recent. Oh, 2011. Labor Day Weekend Sale 2011. 4th of July. Anyway. Remix. This also was electronic music magazine of the 90s and the 2000s. This is what, 2002. And very cool articles. Obviously cater to DJs, but also electronic musicians. Oops. Let's see what's here. Masters at Work. Oh, Basement Jaxx, 2001. Orbital. Jamiroquai. Love it. RS7000 Yamaha. Air. Remember Air? These guys used to be really big in the early 2000s. Yep, 2001. SP303. The EMU command stations. Those are popular too. Yeah, Remix. Represent the Ronnie Size. 2001. John Digweed. John Aquaviva. Richie Hawtin, of course. This is the first Roland disc lab, yeah. Alright. DJ Shadow. This must have been during the Matrix, yeah. 2002. Sasha. Paul Van Dyke. Basement Jaxx. Daft Punk. Daft Punk Talk Tech. So if you wanted to know what they used, you go here, page 24. And I read all these magazines, so I don't remember right now what they used, but anyway, it's good for reference. Love these guys. The Crystal Method, awesome band. Yeah. Theory Corporation. I think these guys are still around. Massive Attack. Let me see, Elliot. Air again. Fatboy Slim. He was huge during the time of the Rockefeller Skank. Tricky. Chemical Brothers, they were huge too, of course. Pete Tong. Groove Armada. Gangstar, Outcast, Kid Koala, Blur, love Blur, great band, the Neptunes. That's it. This was Future Music. I used to love this magazine. I bought it religiously in the 90s. And this was when they used to put models on the cover with synths. And they also came with CDs with samples and software. I have all the CDs as well somewhere in the house. Samplers, Kai, Evolution of a Species. What was this? This was 1998. This is November 1998. And this is the JP 8080 classic synth. And of course, Portishead, great band, fantastic band. Yeah, Mix Wizard. It's a Sirius. Future Music Sampling, the Special Edition. 1997. Well, you get the idea. And I'm from Italy originally. I was born and raised in Italy, and Italy had their own version of future music called Futura music, which I'm not sure why they didn't call it Musica Futura, which would be the translation. But it also came with CDs, and you know, you need to understand Italian to read these. And all these future music, they used to come with CDs and then later DVDs. Here are some of the DVDs that I have for them. You know, but these were really cool magazines, very good articles. I enjoy reading future music. I really liked it. Look how many I have. Alright, next. And this is Sound on Sound. These are older versions. This is from 1986. Gary Newman, you know, cool stuff. The original Roland MC500 microcomposer. Alesis MIDI effects. I used to have the original MIDI verb. I haven't had the MIDI effects. I'd like to get it at some point and see what it sounds like. The Pro 24, one of the first sequencers. Yeah. The mouth-watering Ensoniq ESQ1. Yeah, I used to have this one. It's a great synth. I might get it again. Roland VS 2480. This is from not sure when. 90s. Actually 2001, late 90s, early 2000s. The Mackie D8B, that was a great digital mixer. Got rave reviews back at the time. I actually considered buying it, and I tried it at the store, loved it, but I didn't buy it. Radar. People swear about this machine. I've never tried it, but people say it's just phenomenal. It just sounds like tape. Creamware Noah. Tascam DM24. This was when digital mixers were coming out, and they were breaking the price. You know, they used to be hugely expensive, the good ones, and then they went down. This was supposed to be good. Firewire, you know, the interface, the old interface. And, Korg, digital recorder. The Alesis Andromeda, fantastic synth. Played it several times. Love to get my hands on one of these days. I really like that synth. My friend Mark, who lives nearby here, has one. Yamaha CS6. Innovation Ice Station. Roland VP9000, I have it in the back. The Virus, of course, classic for trance. Yamaha SU700, Tascam 788. The Mix, also this was a cool magazine that came with CDs as well. 4-track mini disc. Who remembers these guys here? Nobody remembers mini discs. They were never super popular for recording. They were cool technology though. The Beatles 303 Special, over 51 hit samples and patterns, MIDI files and retro features. No CD, see your news agent. This is a British magazine. They don't say news agent in America. When was this? This was 1996, January 1996. Actually, I'd like to find this CD. I'd like to see what the samples, I think they were good samples. Let's see what's in there. Fostex. Very dynamic. Scratch. Microphones. The DA20 DAT. Here it is, £7.99. It's a Tascam. This was back in the era of DATs. How things have changed, guys. Matrix 12. Pro Tools, Eventide. Why Logic is still #1. Emo Ultra, the EMI 4 EXT. This was a great sampler. Mackie, Pro Tools, Soundscape, Logic. This was Strumenti Musicali. It's again another Italian magazine, which means musical instruments in Italian. So for our Italian viewers, this used to be on in every bookstore, magazine stand. Motif XF8, Roland Juke. This is fairly. I have so many of these Strumenti Musicali in Italy. Actually, I have a lot more magazines in Italy than here, believe it or not, because I started buying them in the 80s. And so I have a lot. Digital synths. This was 1997. Look at that. The Proteus. Well, these are Italian artists that even I don't know, because I haven't been living in Italy for 21 years now. Let's move on. And this was a musician magazine. This there was no Talk Gear here. It's a great BB King on the cover, but it was interviews with artists and general music information. So BB King, how to get a killer live sound for acoustic guitar. I guess maybe there was some technical information as well. Yeah. Tricky. About it. Keith Richards, Prince. Get ready for MP3. Meet the new format that can liberate or cripple your career. When was this? Because really I started using MP3s after Napster and mp3.com. So let me see what year this is. It's April 2000. George Martin. Anyway, let's go on to the next one. And this one was Yamaha All Access, just like the Roland Users Group and the Chord magazine. Yamaha had their magazines if you went to musical instrument stores. They always have these copies free to grab. This one, 2003. Interviews with artists and very probably Yamaha products. Yep. Nora Jones. Yeah. The Dixie Chicks. Where they call it Dixie Chicks? I think so. And Sync. 2001. Nickelback. Ray Charles, great Ray Charles. And Dave Matthews Band. And Elton John. Pulse. This was a free magazine that I used to go to this record store called Tower Records a lot back in the 90s, and these were always free for grabs there. And again, interviews with artists, Sigur Rós, Missy Elliott. It was mostly not too much technical talk here, just artists' interviews. But it was interesting. Salt and Pepper. 1997, Dance Report with Underworld, Moby and more. Yeah, that was 20 years ago. Yep. Lauryn Hill, Underworld. That Born Slippy song was fantastic. Radiohead, of course, fantastic band. Usher. The Cardigans, love the Cardigans. She had such a beautiful voice. Fatboy Slim, I remember. This album was huge back in the days for the younger viewers. I just saw it. Where is it? The Rockefeller Skank. Here it goes. You've Come a Long Way. I remember going to Tower Records and buying this record by Fatboy Slim. You've Come a Long Way, baby. This was so popular. If you like electronic music, you wanted to buy it. Beck. Erykah Badu. Garbage also. This band was so popular. With I'm only happy when it rains. I'm only happy when it's complicated. Yep. The Go-Betweens. Groovy Baby, Austin Powers. Fatboy Slim again. Tom Petty. And Oasis. Computer Music and Project Studio. This again was an Italian magazine, but I believe they had an English version as well, which I have also somewhere in this mess. And when was this? Probably the late 90s, early 2000s, maybe. Well, maybe not. Maybe no. This is later than that because it's already soft synth all the way. Okay. What is this? Oh, this is a computer. No, this is the same. Computermusic.co.uk. So the original was British, and this was the Italian version of it. Cubase. The 2000. Oh, this is the British version. The 2001 Computer Music Awards. So this is from 2002. Okay. See, by 2002 already, you can see the plugins had already started being huge. Mixing in software. And these are the awards. Best Soft Sampler, Halion, EXS24, Giga Studio. Remember Giga Studio? I don't know if you guys remember Tascam Giga Studio. Well, it was bought by Tascam, it was a different comp. Pro 52. B4, Reactor 3. I got all these soft synths. I still have them. I don't use them that much anymore. But there was a period, around this period, that I really got into soft synths like everybody else. And then I went back to hardware. Yep. $2000. Happy New Gear. Cubase Marsic. Back to bass. Beat this. Blender. Again, this wasn't a technology magazine. It was more about bands that I used to buy to get interviews with the bands. So this was probably in the early 2000s. Christina Aguilera, Britney. Lots of ads. Blender, the 1001 greatest songs to download right now. So it was already the time where you were able to download stuff. Beyonce, Shakira, Pink, Eminem, Jewel. And again, this was an Italian magazine. Actually, it was European. I think it was German, the original, but European musician. And this was a fantastic magazine. They don't make them anymore. This is from '96. Had a really great reviews, and WK4 Gem General Music. Grosso Grasso. This was the era of. It would help if I orient it. It was the era of the Waldorf Pulse. Big and fat, meaning the sound. Folio rack pack. Tobias basses. A Kurzweil K2000, one of the classic synths. Rex Anthony. This is a son of Doris. I forget. Doris Norton. She was a British lady who came to Italy, and she recorded a bunch of very, very, very cool electronic records back in the 70s. And this is her son, and he was playing techno at the same time I was playing techno in the early 90s. He might be a little bit younger than me. Rex Anthony. Look how ridiculous. I mean, not him, but we all look like that. With the techno sunglasses of the early 90s. The GX700. Technics. Anyway, yeah, this was a really good magazine. And I have hundreds of them in Italy. I have a lot of these magazines from the 80s. Yep. And another Italian music magazine, Fare Musica. This is from 96, generation 96. And I have a huge collection of Fare Musica in Italy from the 80s on. Again, great magazine. Eventide. I just have these three here, but the rest of them I have them in Italy. This is REP, recording engineer, producer. This was more like for recording studios. A lot of technical information. Effectron. Angela by Emac. Synclavier. Yuri compressors. The Prime Time 2. When is this? This is April 1983. So back then, this lexicon delays were state of the art. New state of the art performance and reliability in a classic format. And they are fantastic. I've got the PCM 81. But this was before my time. I bought these used. This is from the 70s, 1977. Otari MX 5050, classic reel-to-reel recorder. Yuri filter. Auditronics. Son of 36 grand. That was a mixing console. Big 2-inch tapes. The new stereo Delta T lexicon delay. By today's standards is just a little short delay, but it sounded fantastic. The Orban Parasound stereo synthesizer. I actually want to get my hands on one of these guys sooner or later to see what it sounds like. TBX, Tapco. Anyway, you get the idea. This is more like for recording studios equipment. Very interesting. If you're interested to know how they recorded things with, and microphones, here you go. Anyway. And these here are T-Pop. These are great magazines. They are free. And a lot of information, great information, a really fantastic magazine. A must-have in everybody's music collection. And this is Music Technology, which was another British music of the era. I think this is obviously the 80s with Peter Gabriel and Akai S900. I think that was 1986. And this is Music, Computers and Software. Also, this was a British magazine, very cool. Hard to find these days. And loads of other magazines here. Home Recording, 2001, The Shapes of Things to Come. These are all from the 90s. And more keyboard magazines, Electronic Musician. I got so much stuff, guys. More electronic musicians. Basically, since I came here in 1996, I bought all this stuff. And I still have it 21 years later. And before that, I had it in Italy from the 80s. So, in a way, it's good to keep it. These are important historical references, and that's how I got a lot of my knowledge. And this is a Manuale Pratico di Jazz. This is a jazz guide that I used to read when I was into jazz in the late 80s. This is a book, I haven't read it yet, Italo Disco Story. I'm really interested in Italo Disco, and I bought it and I read like a few pages and then I forgot to finish it, but I'm gonna finish it. Music and Computers, Music Tech. Hey, look what I found. I used to love this band to death, the D-Light from 1990. And this is it's a little water damage, but there's an interview where they show all their gear that they used. And this was the Rolling Stones 500 Greatest Songs of All Time. Stacks of Pro Gear by Sweetwater. I got so many of these. Again, free catalogs from Sweetwater, an online store. And then I have a bunch of books, and one day maybe I'll do an episode on books, because I have a lot of books, even a guitar handbook. And of course the Hammond organ, Beauty and the Bee. This was a great book. Studio Bass Masters. The Complete Lyrics of Cole Porter. The Little Red Book for the studio. Bunch of stuff, guys, bunch of stuff. The Real World, Scoring for Pictures by Jeff Rona. Keyboard Instruments. Electroshock, Groundbreakers of Synth Music. Very cool book. And The Secret of Analog and Digital Synthesis. Vintage Synthesizer. Of course, this was a book of the 90s for synthesizers. Everybody who was into synths, like me, bought this book. The New Complete Synthesizer. David Crombie. Oh! And Home Recording, musician guy. Let's talk about this David Crombie, because I saw another book here, and never mind, I can't find it. Yeah, but this was a good book, The New Complete Synthesizer by David Crombie. I learned a lot back in the days when I read it. This must have been maybe the late 80s. Here it explains how the waveforms work, the voices, types of synthesizer, the Oscar, subtractive synthesis, additive and FM synthesis. It's a good book. And also there was this, the Museum of Synthesizer Technology. This also came with a DVD or a CD, I think, or a cassette, which I have somewhere. This was a German product, I believe. No, maybe British. This was British. He was a guy who had set up a museum in a place in the UK, and had all these fantastic analog synths, Micro Moog, Moog vocoder, Moog, Mini Moog, of course, Oberheim, Matrix 12. We have one right here. Look at this EMU system module, just incredible. And the emulator too. Anyway, if you're a synth fan, you will like this book a lot. Rock Hardware, 40 years of rock instrumentation. Yep, interesting book, huh? Because, you know, I play keyboards, that's my main instrument, but I've always been interested in other instruments as well. And I do play the drums, the guitar, and the bass, and a few wood instruments, and like saxophone and other stuff like that. And, you know, it's cool. Multi-track recording, a technical and creative guide for the musician and home recorder. SBX 80. I got one. It's a sync box. I got it before I got the Garfield synchronizer. Echo and delay. Synthesizer and computers. Revised edition. And the sampling book. This is back in the day, early days of sampling. Yeah, I learned a lot on these books, guys. Alright, a couple more. This was The Art of Digital Music, given to me by my friend David Battino. Thank you, David. This was a great book with interviews, and 56 visionary artists and insiders reveal their creative secrets. Chap D, The Fat Man, Patrick Gleason, recently departed Ikutarou Kakehashi, David Mash, David Ziccarelli. Really interesting book. And this is the MIDI book, using MIDI and related interfaces. It's a companion to the other book. And synthesizer techniques. Bob Moog, Tom Coster, George Duke, Roger Powell, and other experts offer practical creative instruction on how to master technical and artistic potential of your synthesizer. Again, yeah, I read all these books back in the 90s, or even 80s, some of them. And I learned a lot from all of these guys. Alright guys, actually I do have a lot more to show, but I'm kind of tired and I need to go to bed because tomorrow I have to go to work. But I just wanted to finish with these two books because these were really important to me. They're in Italian. This is from back when I was still living in Italy. But this was the very first synthesizer book that I bought. Manuale delle tastiere e del sintetizzatore by Enrico Cosimi. Enrico Cosimi was a musician, reviewer who worked with Italian magazines all the time. He's still around. I think he has a YouTube channel. And this was a fantastic book, and this was the first time I heard, I think I bought this in 1986, and I was 17. And I remember just drooling on some of these synths, like I really like the ARP 2600 and the Oscar. That's the Oscar right there. I still remember when I read this. It's been 30 years, 31 years. There you go. and he said he wrote how to obtain some sounds and arpeggiator, recording, of course, Prophet 5, of course. Yeah, these are all terms, and you know, it's in Italian. But see. And then after that, I bought this one. I still remember when I bought it. I went to the store in Rome, Italy, called Ricordi, which was a huge store back then. They used to, I mean, probably still around, I don't know. They used to sell records and magazines and books, a lot of books. And Il Sintetizzatore, the synthesizer by Delton T. Horn. This was the Italian version of the original English version. Fantastic book. Again, here I learned a whole lot. Yeah. And this must have been also 1986. The sync, yeah. Alright. Il MIDI, the MIDI. When was this? Let's see. Published 30,000 lire. Which was like maybe 30 bucks. 1988. I bought this in 1988. I forgot a few more books, but these are kind of cool. These are all the key facts by Julian Kolbeck. They're a really cool encyclopedia record producer. But I have all the original key facts. The number 1, number 2, number 3, and 4, and 5, and the key facts omnibus edition. And home recording, complete piano. Bunch of stuff here. So much stuff. Synthesizer basics. And of course the A to Z of analog synthesizers. This was a must-have back in the 90s. And Jean-Jacques Perret, love this guy. I love lounge music. The Hit Factory, this is a great story about Stock Aitken Waterman that I grew up with. Pop music, technology and creativity, Trevor Horn, one of my favorite producers. The Dance Music Manual. This is a fantastic book, highly recommended. Phil Harding, PWL from the factory floor. If you're interested in finding out technical information on all the recording of Stock, Aitken and Waterman of the 80s, which I'm hugely interested in, read this book, is fantastic. Synthesizer by Roland. More Progia and manuals and more stuff. That's a Prophet 5 manual, a bunch of manuals. I have a lot of stuff. I have too much stuff. More books here. Yeah, that's the one I wasn't finding. This is David Crombie, the Italian version that I have. And this is the Mix magazine, the Audio Pro Home Recording course, 1, 2, and 3. Mixing and mastering. Tascam 30 years of recording. This was a great magazine that I got back in the 90s buying vinyl records in Italy. Manual of the Soundcraft. Anatomy of the Home Studio. Well, you get the idea. Guys, I'm getting tired, so I'm gonna check out. Okay, guys. I hope you enjoy this trip down memory lane. I've been playing keyboards for more than 30 years now, 35. I started when I was a kid. I'm 48 now. So it's been really 35, 40 years that I've been at it. And I love it. I love every day of it. And I gain a lot of knowledge from all this stuff, all these magazines and books. And I think they're important for historical purposes and reasons. And I just wanted to show them and share them with you guys. As usual, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.